small island located at the edge of the Southeast Asia, yet one of the world's most powerful economic hubs? This is Singapore.
Located at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, Singapore sits along some of the busiest shipping routes on Earth for centuries. This strategic position has made it a gateway between East and West, shaping its identity as a global center for trade and connection. But Singapore's story didn't begin as a modern powerhouse. In 1819, Sir Stamford Raffles established it as a British trading post. What followed was rapid growth under colonial rule, as ships from around the world passed through its ports. During World War II, Singapore faced a major turning point under Japanese occupation. After the war, it returned to British control, before briefly joining Malaysia in 1963. Just 2 years later, in 1965, Singapore became an independent nation facing an uncertain future with limited land and almost no natural resources. Yet, against the odds, Singapore transformed. Today, it stands as one of the world's leading financial centers, driven by global trade, advanced industries and innovation. Its success is built not on natural wealth, but on human capital, strong policies and long-term vision. Singapore is also a diverse society with a population of around 5 to 6 million people. The main ethnic groups includes Malay, Chinese and Indians, along with other communities. This diversity is reflected in its cultures, languages and daily life. English is widely used, especially in business and education, while Malay, Mandarin and Tamil are also official languages. Politically, Singapore is a parliamentary republic led by a prime minister. It is known for its strong and stable government as well as strict laws that help maintain order and safety. On the social side, Singapore has high standard of living with excellent healthcare, education and public services. It is often ranked as one of the safest countries in the world. However, like many developed nations, it also faces challenges.
One of the challenges encountered by Singapore is
the rising cost of living is
That's right. Singapore is the most expensive city to live in.
The struggle to get by in Singapore isn't true. It isn't as what it seems.
I think it's true that they have.
Singapore was facing many issues, and one of the main issues is high cost of living. First is housing. One of the main reasons for Singapore high cost of living is housing price. Even though the government was provide HDB flat, but the price can still reach hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I want to buy a HDB flat, but the rent is too high and my salary is not enough.
Exactly, we have to save a year and it's possible to have our own house here.
That's right. Young people will just start working and find it difficult to own their own homes. They need to save many years before they can afford one. Besides housing, the cost of food and daily goods has also increased. Eating out can cost twice as much compared to neighboring countries.
Wow, one plate of chicken rice is $6. In Malaysia, you can get a better meal in any meal.
Yes, if you eat out every day, your salary disappears very fast.
This affects middle-income families the most. The cost of food, clothing, and basic necessities put pressure on everyday life. Other transport costs are also a burden, even though the system is efficient. Fares are still high for some taxis.
Every day, but the price is even higher. If you have kids, maybe the expenses could be higher.
True, education fees and childcare costs are expensive too. It's hard to save money for the future.
In addition, education and childcare add to the financial strain. young families have to manage large expenses for their children's future.
Today, I will explain the steps taken by the government of Singapore to manage the high cost of living. First, the government provides cost of living support package. This includes cash, assistance, voucher and utility rebate to help lower and middle income households cope with rising expenses. This reduces the financial burden on daily needs. Next, housing subsidies are provided through the Housing and Development Board. The government offers affordable housing and financial support, especially for the first-time buyer. This ensures that most citizens can own a home despite high property price. The third one is the government control public transport. Fares for bus and MRT are regulated to remain affordable. An efficient transport system also reduces the need for private vehicles, helping people save money. Next, healthcare subsidies are given through schemes like MediShield, Life and Medifine. These programs reduce medical expenses and ensure that citizens can access healthcare services. Finally, the government controls food price and supply by importing food from different countries and monitoring prices. They ensure a stable supply and prevent extreme price increases.
In Singapore, the rising cost of living is no longer just a financial statistic. It is a political lightning rod. Here are two primary ways as it is reshaping the political landscape. The first one is the strain on the social compact. For decades, the political stability of Singapore has been built on a social compact. The idea that the government provides security and a rising standard of living in exchange for public support. As costs for housing and transport soar, this agreement is under immense pressure. The government is forced to pivot from traditional free market stances toward heavy intervention, such as the multi-billion-dollar insurance packages. Politically, the ruling party must now work twice as hard to prove that the Singapore dream is still attainable for the average citizen or risk losing the middle ground voters. Next is the rise of bread and butter opposition. Cost of living issues have given the political opposition a powerful, united platform. Instead of debating abstract ideologies, political discourse is now centered on the price of a plate of chicken rice or the affordability of HDB flats. This forces the government into a defensive posture where every policy from the GST hike to carbon taxes must be meticulously justified. The political impact is a more contested landscape where economic anxiety becomes the primary driver of voter behavior. Beyond the ballot box, the high cost of living is fundamentally altering the way Singaporeans live and relate to one another. The first one is the delay of life milestone. The most visible social effect is the delayed life. When the cost of setting up a household becomes astronomical, young Singaporeans are forced to push back marriage and parenthood. This isn't just about a personal choice, it's a financial calculation. Socially, this leads to a sandwich generation that is older, more stressed, and tasked with caring for aging parents while finally starting their own families much later in life. This creates a ripple effect of mental fatigue across the social fabric. The second one is the erosion of social mobility perceptions. Meritocracy is the heartbeat of Singaporean society. However, as living costs rise, there is a growing perception that the ladder is getting harder to climb. Where the price of success, such as private tuition for kids or owning a home, becomes a luxury only accessible to the wealthy, it creates a sense of relative deprivation. Socially, this can lead to resentment and divide between those who are surviving and those who are thriving, potentially weakening the national unity that Singapore has spent decades building. In conclusion, the cost of living in Singapore is more than just a numbers game. It is a force that is rewriting the rule of politics and shifting the foundations of society. How the nation balances its global competitiveness with the daily affordability of its citizens will be the defining story of this decade.
In conclusion, the high cost of living in Singapore has a significant impact on people's daily life, especially in areas such as housing, food, transportation, and education. Many individuals and families are facing increasing financial pressures as prices continue to rise, making it more challenging to maintain a comfortable standard of living.
So the government has introduced these measures like subsidy, financial aid, and price control to reduce this burden. These challenges still need continuous attention. While such efforts provide short-term relief, they may not fully solve the problem in the long run.
Therefore, ongoing cooperation between the government and society is crucial to protect people's well-being. Individuals also play an important role by managing their expenses wisely and adapting to changing economic conditions.
Better and more lasting solutions are hoped to solve this problem. If everyone work together and take early action, the rising cost of living can be reduced. This will help people have a more stable, safe, and balanced life.